Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Joyful Journeys. Today, I am joined by Maya Cohn, who is a previous Girls on the Run participant. Welcome, Maya.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We're so excited to have you on today and hear about your GOTR journey, starting with participating as a kid. So why don't you start there? Tell us a little bit about when you participated and what it was like for you.
So I started in third grade. My parents had enrolled me in it after, being home after being adopted. And they just enrolled me in it, I guess, to help me build my confidence and find my passion, like, I guess, for running. And it obviously worked because I'm still running today, all these years later.
That's amazing. What kind of running are you into now? Like, what kind of distances do you race? Tell us a little bit about it.
Um, well, I like all of the distance, I guess, but my favorite is probably either the half or the full.
Very cool. Impressive. I have not run a full marathon myself, so it's a little intimidating to me. So that is super cool that you've run one. How many marathons have you run?
I've run five.
Wow. Do you have a favorite one?
Probably my first one because I did that during COVID.
Oh, no way. Was it by yourself or was it with other people?
Okay, so during COVID, I was scrolling on social media and I saw that the Boston Association was doing a virtual Boston. I was like, I have to run this, even if it's virtual, because it's gonna be years before I actually can qualify for it. So that was my first marathon experience.
That is so cool. And were you hooked right away? Like as soon as you finished running, you were like, yes, I'm gonna run more marathons. Or were you kind of like, I might not be running more marathons after that?
Well, considering that was my first and it was done virtually around my neighborhood, I felt like I needed a real experience.
Oh, okay. What was your second marathon then? That was actually like real in person with other people.
At Disney World during the 2022 marathon weekend.
Oh my goodness. That is a dream of mine to go run really any Disney race. The marathon would be great, but any Disney race sounds super magical. That is awesome. Do you have a favorite memory from that race?
Um, just probably seeing the characters out on the course and like having people actually cheering you on,
Yeah.
and obviously running through Main Street during the marathon and seeing the castle.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that would probably be my favorite part too. That's pretty special. Very cool. Well, I can see that you're wearing a soulmate shirt. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your soulmate's experience?
So, I've been doing it as long as I can, and each of the Disney race weekends, I always go out and either cheer or run as a soulmate.
Very cool. That is so special. Do you often see other soulmates there as well?
Yeah. The local chapter here, well, now I'm in Florida, but I always meet up with them and always take pictures at race weekends and all that stuff.
Oh, nice. Have you ever met any Girls on the Run alumni either at Soulmates events or at other events?
Um, Not specifically, but last or in this past spring, I got to have a really cool experience. I got to volunteer at the end of the season 5K race here in Central Florida to be a
Oh.
buddy runner.
Oh, so you got to be paired up with a program participant, right?
Yeah, and it was just really cool
Yeah,
because
that must have been super special.
it had literally been a decade since I ran my last one as a participant.
Wow. How cool was it to kind of see the perspective as an adult now, and then I'm sure you remembered what it was like being that young participant running the 5K. What was it like now that you have both perspectives?
It felt magical. It almost felt like running my first Disney race again. Like
Oh,
yeah, it
that
was
is
so
super
special.
special. Did you know the participant that you ran with before the 5K, or did you meet right before the 5K started?
No, we had just met the morning of.
Oh, wow. Did you get to talk to them a lot during the 5K and learn a lot about them?
No, but I will say they definitely put things into perspective and being like, oh yeah, I was once that young, because like they were doing the exact same things that I did at that age, which is like you run as fast as you can for as long as you can, and then you slow down and you do it until you get to the end.
Yep. That's pretty much how you do it.
I was like, whoa, slow down. This is not how we run.
Oh, but that's no nice that you remember that when you were a kid, that's what it was like for you too. Like
Yeah,
that's kind of just what your kid brain thinks. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna go really fast. You're like, I can totally do this the whole time. And then it's like
like
5 seconds later, you're like, oh no, no, I can't hold that the whole time. But that's part of the learning process. Obviously, you've learned how to pace yourself better and be able to hold an even pace the whole time now.
yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome. Well, what are you up to now other than running?
Is that even a question? Are we doing other things besides
Oh, that's true. Running is the
running?
only thing. Are you involved in your community at all or anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm a part of a run club that meets on every Monday night.
Okay,
Shout out to Home State Run Club.
very nice. What has that club like really done for you? Why were you interested in joining them?
So it holds a super special place in my heart because I graduated high school during the pandemic, class of 2020, and um like I was looking for a community, people that I could connect with and just find friendship with, especially um since the post high school life.
Yeah, very cool. That's so special that you found that with them. Do you
Yeah.
do anything other than run with them?
We do meet up at like local races, which is always super fun.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's super special to be able to show up to a race and actually know someone because a lot of the times you show up to a race and there could be hundreds or thousands of people there and you don't necessarily know anyone. So that's always nice
Yeah,
to see a familiar face.
yeah.
Very cool. Is there anything either in your running life now, or just in your everyday life that makes you think of Girls on the Run, either running wise or not running wise?
I don't know. That's a tough question because like sometimes it's hard for me to think that far back. It's been like 10, 12 years since I did it as a girl
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Do you have any favorite memories of when you did participate?
I like the community projects.
Do you remember what you guys did as your project?
Not specifically, but I always like that we were able to help the community.
Yeah, that is that's one of the things, especially at that age, kind of realizing that you can have an impact on your community. And I think also realizing how big your community is another part of it. I know for me as a kid, I used to think the world was pretty tiny and not as big as it actually is. And so being able to give back to a part of it kind of, one, it helped me feel more in touch with my community and that I was making a difference, which made me feel good, but also made me realize just how big my community and the whole world is.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Maya, thank you so much for joining us on this episode and telling us a little bit about your Girls on the Run journey and your continued running journey now. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
This episode of Joyful Journeys is brought to you by Girls on the Run of Northern Virginia.